Was questionable all week with a groin injury. He will start tonight, Al. The question is, how explosive can he be?
Right now, Michelle, the NFC East is all of a sudden explosive. As you look at the coaches, Tom Coughlin, Chip Kelly, the Cowboys won again today. Went into Seattle and beat the Seahawks in the Northwest. They won 5 straight. 30-23 was the final there. Philly comes in tonight 4-1. The Giants have won 3 straight 3-2. Washington loses to Arizona this afternoon. Their record is 1-5. Josh Huff, a rookie from Oregon. He played there for Chip Kelly, and he's back to return the kick. Philadelphia won the toss, and they will receive. One of the few teams that just does not defer. Chip Kelly can't wait to get the ball, and Josh Brown will kick off for the Giants. Perfect night. Fireworks into the night sky in Philadelphia on this 57-degree night at Lincoln Financial Field. And away we go with a bouncing ball that will be down in the end zone there. So that fast-paced Philly offense coming out. Let's meet them.
Nick Foles, Arizona.
LaShawn McCoy, Pitt Panthers. Jeremy Maclin, Mizzou Tigers.
Riley Cooper, Florida.
Jordan Matthews, Vanderbilt.
Brent Selleck, Cincinnati.
Jason Peters, Arkansas.
Matt Tobin, Iowa.
David Moak, University of Michigan.
Todd Hermans, Saginaw Valley.
Lane Johnson, Oklahoma.
Missing 2 starters up front, so we'll keep an eye on the Philly offensive line, the makeshift line. They run as fast a pace as any team in the league. McCoy is the running back, and from the 20-yard line, they give it to him, averaging only 2.9 yards per carry, and that's been the subject of a lot of talk in Philadelphia. Hankins makes the tackle, going no huddle. They run a play every, on average, 22 seconds, by far the fastest pace in the league. And on 2nd and 8, the play fake, Foles throws over the middle, completes it to Riley Cooper. Out to the 33, that's a first down. We salute him with the chant of Coop. Foles in his first 25 games, 41 TDs, 12 picks. Best ratio in NFL history over that period of time. Last year, an otherworldly 27 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. Here's McCoy. And McCoy around the corner picks up a first down. And the crowd delighted. Jaquan Williams makes the stop. Notice the way he carries that ball low and outside.
He does, just so loose with the football, and yet somehow he did lay one on the ground last week. But that is a good sign. If you want to talk about the #1 reason why the Eagles have struggled so far on offense this year, that's it. They haven't been running it.
Give it to him again, and a big hole through the middle. Inside the Giants 40 to the 36, following the left tackle, Jason Peters. And already McCoy now 3 carries for 32 yards. That's good for 18.
Here's where you've got to get it done inside, and that's where it really hasn't happened. They've got replacements, David Moak and Matt Tobin inside for Evan Mathis and Jason Kelsey, and they simply have not been able to run the football like that, but so far tonight,
Now Darren Sproles comes in. Got him from New Orleans. Play fake to Sproles. Foles dances away from trouble, completes it inside the 30-yard line to Zach Ertz, one of the Philly tight ends, for a gain of 9.
The pace is just so difficult. When you get out and you start feeling like you're on your heels defensively, you just don't get a chance to regroup.
2nd and 1, good protection. Again, a completion. That's to the 20. That's to Jeremy Maclin. Leading receiver, missed all of last year with an ACL tear. Back he comes. First down.
One of the things that they're really hoping for is that John Beeson, back in there at middle linebacker, who's the quarterback of the defense, can really settle things, but he's been out for a while too, so you wonder how long it's going to take for him to get back into the game action.
Already run 6 plays in 2.5 minutes from the 19. Pump fake and then a little toss to McCoy, trying to break a couple of tackles, get into the 17, tackled there by JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul.
Well, athletically, there's nobody quite like this guy, Jason Pierre-Paul, and I've been watching him on tape here for the last 3 or 4 days, and he was a sensation 2-3 years ago, and really had sort of fallen off a little bit. They were talking about just how he's been looking in practice, and he looks like he's having fun again, and athletically we're seeing some of those double moves. he's going to need him out here tonight.
3 tight end set from the 17 on 2nd down and 8. Swinging to the outside again. Here comes McCoy. He'll take the ball to the 14-yard line. Broke out of a Jaquan Williams tackle, and that sets up a 3rd down and 5.
Try to go unbalanced line, bring the right tackle Lane Johnson over here to the left side to get all those big blockers out front. Pretty good by David Molt getting in front as well. Pretty good matchup right there, isn't it? Jason Peters, one of the most athletic left tackles there is in the game, against Jason Pierre-Paul, one of the most athletic defensive ends.
First 3rd down on this, the opening drive of the game. Sproles is the back. Foles, only a 3-man rush. Backing away, throwing to the 11-yard line, and incomplete. Pass there intended for Sproles, so the drive bogs down, and they'll settle for a field goal attempt.
Well, just the 3-man rush that time, so they were basically falling back into coverage and got the job done. Everywhere Nick Foles turned, there was somebody standing right there. Finally, he just had to dump it down, and field goal time now.
31-yard attempt coming for the rookie Cody Parkey. He was undrafted, signed with Indianapolis. Cut by them, picked up by Philadelphia, and he's done a nice job thus far this season and puts the Eagles on the board 4:05 into the game. 3-0 Philadelphia. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By Kia Motors, visit kia.com to learn more. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
Go as fast as the Eagles offense.
Yes. Everything's quick.
Go.
Warp speed here.
Man, you almost need a stenographer or something to try and keep up with what they're doing on the field. But once again, bogged down in the red zone, and that's been their issue this year.
Eagles wearing all black uniforms tonight, first time. Parkey sends it into the end zone. And the Giants will begin from the 20. Let's take a look at their starters.
Eli Manning, Ole Miss.
Andre Williams, Boston College.
Victor Cruz, Massachusetts.
Ruben Randall, LSU.
Odell Beckham Jr., LSU.
Larry Donnell, the G, Grambling State.
William Beatty, UConn.
Weston Richburg, Colorado State.
J.D. Walton,
Baylor.
John Jerry, Ole Miss.
Justin Pugh, Syracuse.
Headline coming together nicely this season. Chris Lee retired, but the rookie Richburg in there. Walton hadn't played since a couple of years ago. They're working very smoothly, certainly over the last 3 weeks. Okay, from the 20, the running back is Andre Williams. And Manning begins with a pass over the middle and a first down. Victor Cruz out of the slot, taking it to the 32. Now the Giants, like the Eagles, running a much faster-paced offense this year under McAdoo, and they come up no huddle here after the first play.
Yeah, and you'll really see Eli Manning just take control of this offense. There's nothing like the quarterback being the one to last see what the defense is doing and quickly change the play.
The rookie Williams to the 34-yard line. So Eli Manning, picked number 1 overall back in 2004, assumed the starting role shortly thereafter. 157 straight starts, or the equivalent of almost 10 full seasons. Ben McAdoo, who was on the Green Bay staff with Mike McCarthy for the last 8 years, takes over for the retired Kevin Gilbride as the offensive coordinator, calling in the plays. 2nd and 9.
118.
Williams again. Led the country in rushing at Boston College last year, and that's what he does so well, runs over people. That time it was Jenkins, and sets up a 3rd and 1.
Oh my goodness, watch this one. This is what Andre Williams is all about. Malcolm Jenkins, an excellent tackler, comes up there, and we were talking to Malcolm Jenkins. He says we better get there and gang tackle the guy because he's not looking to make a move on you, and he certain wasn't looking to make a move on Malcolm Jenkins. That sets the tone for this one.
He has to be their guy tonight because Rashad Jennings, who had done good work over the first part of the season, is hurt. Inactive tonight, and Manning loses the ball, and then covering it up to keep possession for the Giants is the tackle Justin Pugh. But coming in was Connor Barwin to disrupt the play, force the fumble.
Well, you can't blame anything on Pugh. He gets the job done, but Eli just holds the ball. And anytime Eli Manning holds the ball longer than the first look or two, bad things happen. You can talk to any of the coaches. They understand the success of this offense during the 3-game winning streak is getting the ball out of Eli's hand. That time he held it and paid a price.
And that time a 3rd and 1 becomes a 4th and 12. Steve Weatherford. Line drive kick, fielded at the 19-yard line and tackled immediately. Sproles is there. Zach Bowman gets down there to make sure he gets him in his tracks. And Philly will have the ball for the 2nd time when we come back. Don't miss a moment of Sunday Night Football this season. NBC Sports Live Extra. Take the game with you anywhere, online and on tablet. Downtown Philadelphia, also known as Central Philadelphia. On the Sunday night, Eagles now, 2nd possession, and the ball is incomplete, intended for Jordan Matthews, a rookie out of Vanderbilt. Good coverage that time, 2nd down and 10.
Matthews has been making some nice catches for this football team inside. He's a tough guy, clearly has shown that. All-time leading receiver in the SEC, and that's saying something.
19 catches, 2nd on the team to Macklin, coming into the game tonight. And Foles checks it off to Riley Cooper, makes his 2nd catch, and it's a 1st down. Prince Amukamara with the coverage.
Watch Nick Foles here. He wants to go to the 3 wide receiver side, doesn't like it, snaps around immediately, gets his guy on the backside wide open, Riley Cooper. He is growing as a quarterback. He did so much last year, it's hard to believe he was so young.
5 of his first 7 is Foles for 45 yards. Back to the ground. LeSean McCoy. So last year he leads the league in rushing. Spectacular year. Still a young guy in his mid-20s, but all of a sudden this year, and a lot of it has to do with that revamped offensive line, missing 2 starters, averaging 2.9 per carry, Chris.
Yeah, it really does. But you also, when you watched him, he looked a little hesitant at times. Plays that he was being tackled with an arm tackle this year. Last year, we're going for 30 and 40 yards.
Those statistics up to the minute. Thus, tonight, he's raised his average up to 3.2 for the year. And it will go even higher here as he finally gets spilled and the ball comes out at the 45-yard line, and he scrambled for it there. The ball was alive. The Giants at least come out of the pile with it. It's a 19-yard gain. Giants think they have it. Antrell Roll was there. And
the ruling on the field was that the runner was down by contact. First down, Philadelphia.
That's right. But
so
again,
his elbow comes down and then the ball comes loose.
You know, it's one of the problems that LeSean McCoy has, though, is because that ball does tend to get away from his body. Now, he's not going to lose this one, but he does lose them sometimes. And I guess it's just part of his running style. But there is a frustration level because they can't coach him out of it.
And Tom Coughlin's going to throw the challenge flag. You can see how upset he was after the initial call. Clete Blakeman is the referee.
New York is challenging the ruling on the play that the runner was down by contact.
All right, so New York will look at it, so will Blakeman, and we'll be back.
After review of the play, the runner's left elbow was down prior to losing control of the ball. The ruling on the field is confirmed. New York will be charged with its first timeout. First down, Philadelphia.
So McCoy able to keep possession here. Roll makes the tackle. Roll would eventually get the fumble, but he has possession of the ball, and when his elbow goes down, that dislodges it. And now McCoy will go to the sideline here with Sproles coming in. That's the only thing that can slow this offense down right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't slow down when Darren Sproles comes in. Sometimes it speeds up.
From the 44. Fake to him. Foles under pressure. Gets away from a near sack and then throws incomplete. That was Cullen Jenkins who came bursting through. Former Packer and Eagle. Almost got him. Couldn't get him down. 2nd and 10.
Cullen Jenkins right over the center, David Molk, who's a smaller guy. They wanted to try and get somebody right on his nose because they felt like that he would not hold up. So they're going to divide defensive tackles out, but make sure they have somebody right on David Molk, the center, the entire game or as much as they can.
Taking the spot of Jason Kelsey, who'll be out for a couple of weeks. Now swinging to the outside goes Sproles, and he gets taken down after a short gain. Williams makes the tackle. Sproles started his career in San Diego, and then Philip Rivers wasn't very happy when he left, and New Orleans picked him up. Did great work for the Saints under Sean Payton for years. Now he comes hobbling off, and then Philadelphia picks him up in the offseason.
Yeah, and this is an interesting thing happening here. LaShawn McCoy kind of limped off a little bit after that fumble, and Darren Sproles, the only other running back on the roster right now. Chris Polk is out with an injury.
So now McCoy comes back in. It's 3rd down and 8. 5:40 left in the quarter. Eagles up 3-0. Giants blitzing. Foles hangs in there, throws, caught by Zach Ertz, the tight end, and Demps finally shoves him out of bounds. So the Giants on a blitz, they get burned. 1st down.
Well, Clinton Demps is fast, but can't cover him from this deep. Ertz just goes on a shallow cross across the field. Tried to come up with a little blitz inside. Brings up Jameel McClain and just don't get there in time. So here they are back down in the red zone. This has been where the Eagles have struggled. We talked to Nick Foles about it a little bit, and he said, I just got to loosen up. I'm just going to take my shots fired in there, get an interception, something bad happens, I'll get them next time.
Near the bottom of the league are the Eagles in red zone touchdown percentage. And now this is McCoy working his way to the 16-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and make it 8. In the red zone with Kelly calling in the play to Foles. Last year the Eagles were tremendous in the red zone. Foles 16 touchdowns, no picks. Thus far this season, only 44% inside the 20-yard line. 2nd and 8. McCoy, and he'll get taken down from behind by Kiwanuka, making it 3rd down and 6.
Guy that doesn't get a lot of credit on this Giants defense, Mathias Kiwanuka, right there. An excellent run player, always seems to end up with 7-8 sacks, something like that on the season by the time he gets finished. And as the New Orleans Saints fans know, this is a time when you like having Darren Sproles on your football team. He has a tendency, when he can get one-on-one coverage with anybody, he gets open. The Giants know that. They are probably going to zone this off here.
Sproles back, punch 3 receivers to the left. Foles goes to the right, and it is Ertz touchdown. Zach Ertz, and he was working against the corner, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And the Philadelphia Eagles go 81 yards in 10 plays.
That is an absolutely perfect throw by Nick Foles. It was a clean catch. Let's make sure knee down. That's all you need. No bobble, no movement, a clear touchdown. That is as good a coverage as you can have, and the ball had to be exactly there. And you had to have a brilliant catch, brilliant throw, and some touchdown.
And a tight end beating your best cover corner.
By an inch. That was about the only spot you had to throw that one in there, though.
So Ertz has caught 3 balls already tonight for 47 yards. The Eagles have gained 148 yards to the Giants 11. Parkey for the point after. 3:56 to go in the opening quarter. 10-0. And once again, you can count on Jimmy Fallon to get a great lineup of guests to come into the studio. Emma Stone, Bradley Cooper, Neil Diamond among those. Paying a visit to Jimmy on the Tonight Show this week here on NBC. Rolling down the Schuylkill River in Philadelphia, PA on this Sunday night. 10-0 Eagles. Cody Parkey sends it down toward Michael Cox. They're down it there. And the Giants will have the ball for the 2nd time tonight when we come back. Ertz with the TD. 10-0.
Here come the MIBs.
Of course, all of the numbers are tilted in Philadelphia's favor. 19 plays to 4 as you look at Ben McAdoo. Came over from the Green Bay staff. He was ready to interview and did for the Cleveland head coaching job as the Browns came to Green Bay. And then the day before, he went through with that interview, but the day before, Tom Coughlin had called him and said, hey, I want to talk to you about being the offensive coordinator. Went to New York and got the job. Now Manning rolling out, looking downfield, throwing, and it's caught by Ruben Randall. for a first down. And let's take a look at the Philadelphia defense.
Fletcher Cox, Mississippi State.
Benny Logan, Louisiana State University.
Cedric Thornton, Southern Arkansas University.
Connor Barwin, Cincinnati.
Miko Ryans, Roll Tide.
Casey Matthews, University of Oregon.
Trent Cole, Cincinnati.
Bradley Fletcher, Iowa. Malcolm Jenkins, The Ohio State University.
Nate Allen, University of South Florida. Terry Williams, Washburn.
Cole, the longtime star of that group in his 10th season. Whoa. Catches made there by Odell Beckham, who had a hamstring injury that took him out of training camp, took him out of preseason, took him out of the first 4 games of the season, and then had his coming out party last week.
This kid is special. I tell you, you put on the tape from a week ago, and I just kept going, wow, look at the quickness, look at the speed, went up, made plays.
And there's
nowhere that time.
So Beckham was their number 1 choice. Williams was their number 4 choice. Beckham played his college football at LSU. And again, that hamstring was a source of tremendous frustration to Coughlin, to the whole team, and certainly to Beckham.
Yeah, here's a guy that was a world-class soccer player as a kid and decided he just didn't want to travel the world with the national team and decided on football. That worked out all right, too.
4 catches last week, including a big one to win the game against Atlanta. And Manning's going to go down at the 37-yard line. Trent Cole, who's been doing that for a decade. Emmanuel Acho also came in to finish him off.
There we go. Going to take the inside pass. So they have Trent Cole, who typically plays on the other side, over here against Justin Pugh. And you're not used to seeing that kind of speed. That guy has his own hunting show on Blitz TV, and he did a little hunting on that one.
So 2 sacks. That's 82.5 career sacks for Cole. It's 3rd and 19. And Manning's going to take a timeout, and the crowd just loves it as they help to disrupt the Giants' offense.
This does not look like the New York Giants offense that we've been seeing for the last 3 weeks. It's been a product of power running. It's been a product of quick throws by Eli Manning, get the ball out of his hands, and right now they just look unsettled. This offensive line has been playing very well. They haven't been asked to do a lot because Eli's been getting the ball out of his hands so quickly, but they're under siege right now by this Eagles defense.
Second charge timeout against the Giants. They lost the first on the unsuccessful challenge. 3rd and 19. With the ball at the 38-yard line. Giants spread it out. Play clock at 5. And Manning fires over the middle, and that is caught. And Daniel Fells for a first down. Daniel Fells, who's the number 2 tight end, has already caught 3 touchdown passes this season, converts on a 3rd and 19.
Watch D'Amico Ryans try and take him on. Big collision, and then just as soon as he's breaking to the out, breaks back to the inside. Huge play there by a guy that you don't typically think of as the receiving tight end for the Giants.
Ball now at the 42-yard line. That play good for 20 yards. A minute to go in the quarter. And this is Williams. And the funny thing, Chris, about the Giants, and a flag comes in. The big problem in preseason was going to be who's going to play tight end. Now all of a sudden you got Larry Donnell and Daniel Fells.
Holding. Offense. Number 77. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's John Jerry, the right guard.
Now, you know, this has really been, there's Donnell there, that he's a guy had that huge breakout game against the Washington Redskins, 3 touchdowns in that game, and we were talking to Tom Coughlin about it a little bit, and he said, I think he started reading his own press clippings after that. He didn't play so well the next game after that, and went back to benching himself on his own fantasy team, so they hope that starts to pay off as well.
To paraphrase Bill Parcells, you got to put away the anointing cream.
Yeah, let's not put him in can just yet.
Right. But the Giants have 7 touchdowns from their tight ends already this season. So now spot foul, so it's 1st and 19 on the hold here.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Really exultant.
Well,
Coughlin the reverse.
When you're on the road like this, the last thing you want to do is energize the crowd and let them feel like they're having an impact on your offense. But that's what this crowd is convinced of right now.
1st and 24. Now you've got Peyton Hillis, who will be the number 2 back right now, behind Williams. Jennings hurt tonight, and Manning is going to go down again at the 42-yard line. That's Vinny Curry. And that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter, which has been all Philadelphia. End of 1. 10-0 Eagles. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Beautiful shot of central Philadelphia. Tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football. The city of brotherly love. Jeff Lurie has owned this team now for 20 years, 1994, and his wife Tina bought the team in 94 for about $180 million. At that time, I think the highest price paid for any franchise.
How's that investment look now?
Pretty good. Only about $2 billion. Nothing like a $1.8 billion return. You've got a snap here, and flag stopped the play prior to a 2nd and 26.
Seeing a lot of new looks out here tonight by defensive coordinator Billy Davis.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 58. The 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Trent Cole.
Connor Barwin, Trent Cole, both right up here. These are the outside pass rushers. Typically, they're putting them on either side of J.D. Walton and just anticipating the snap count. You can tell they think they're in a bit of a feeding frenzy. 3 sacks already on the night, and for Eli, that's the most he's ever been sacked in a game this year.
And working the interior of that Giants line as Manning will go down again. So Manning had been sacked 7 times over the first 20 quarters, and now he gets sacked for the 4th time tonight.
Well, Justin Pugh had a good year last year. He's having a rough night tonight, though. He has been getting beat by everybody. Trent Cole got him. Connor Barwin's taking a turn now. And for Eli Manning, he's trying to throw it quickly, but he can barely hit his back foot right now.
Well, they converted a 3rd and 19. Now they're going to have to convert a 3rd and 25. They're going to give the ball to Hillis, and he'll go nowhere. Peyton Hillis, his first carry of the night. Connor Barwin, there he is again. And it's 4th and 25.
Well, right now the defense is feeding off of the energy of that offense, because offensively, when the Eagles start to get their running game going the way they have tonight with LaShawn McCoy, it gives them a little rest. They're used to being back out on the field about every minute or two, and tonight they're getting rest and tearing up the New York Giants.
Weatherford, Eagles moving around, trying to find a spot to come in and maybe get a block, and now all of a sudden you've got a flag.
Well, the Giants just look completely unsettled. There's clearly some movement.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
3rd penalty against the Giants. Mark Herzlich. And it makes it 4th down and 30.
Got to be careful now. Darren Sproles back there to return this kick. We've been great on special teams this year.
They'll have a chance here too. 47-yard boot. A good coverage by the Giants as he runs it back to the 21. Let's take a look at the Giants defense.
Matthias Kiwanuka, Boston College. Colin Jenkins, Central Michigan.
Jonathan Hankins, The Ohio State.
Jason Pierre-Paul, South Florida.
Jamil McClain, Syracuse.
John Beeson,
The U. Daquan Williams, University of South Florida.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Tennessee State.
Antrell Roll, the U.
Quentin Demps, UTEP.
Prince Amukamara, Apollo High School.
One of the things the Giants wanted to do is you look at Perry Fuel, the defensive coordinator in the offseason, pick up a couple of defensive backs, and they did in Cromartie and in Demps. And also Walter Thurman from Seattle, but he's hurt. And the pass is caught at the 40-yard line. To the 45 goes Brent Selleck. So we've already seen Ertz tonight, one of the tight ends, and Brent Selleck makes his first grab. That's a gain of 24.
Well, they go with their two tight end set, and everybody in the building's thinking run. Instead, they go play action, and Nick Foles sat back in the pocket for about 10 seconds and had no trouble finding somebody open on about the third look.
High snap, and Foles comes down with it. A lot of time, and then the pass is a little high for Riley Cooper. Beeson may have gotten a hand on it. Second down and 10. So Foles took over last year, and of course had that spectacular year. Pretty tough to duplicate. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, highest passer rating right there, as you can see. Tonight, 8 of 12 for 107 yards. Second and 10. McCoy gets bottled up just past the line of scrimmage. Tremaine McBride makes the stop. 3rd and 8.
And we've talked about this offensive line a little bit, but and Evan Mathis, who's probably, if not the best run blocking offensive guard in the game, certainly one of them, and Jason Kelsey, one of the most athletic centers in the game today. And those two guys, as far as run blockers, give you so many dimensions that you can do, along with LaShawn McCoy, and just haven't been able to get there this year.
Giants put some heat on. The pass has gotten away and is caught at the 50-yard line and then paying the price. It's incomplete. Sproles appeared to have made the catch, but gets popped by DRC, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and it's 4th down as the Giants hold.
Yeah, Nick Foles was under pressure and really just tried to flip one outside arm and set up Darren Sproles for a big hit on that one.
Donnie Jones comes in for his first punt of the night. Preston Parker back inside his 10-yard line.
Giants needed a stop, and they got one. You have to stop the bleeding in this one.
Jones, an angled kick that will bounce out of bounds inside the 10. So the Giants start from the 8-yard line. 12:09 to go in the half. 10-0 Eagles. Giants offensive philosophy is to increase Eli Manning's completion percentage, 58.7 for his career. Last year, 57.5, down near the bottom of the league. Now this year, getting the ball out faster, throwing shorter passes. He's completing 2 of every 3 at 66.3%. But right now, he's 4 for 4 tonight, but for only 60 yards.
Yeah, but they haven't been able to run it at all. And Tom Coughlin said, hey, we're going to stay with the run whether it's working or not. We'll find out.
And they start with a run right here, and Williams goes nowhere. Tackled there by D'Amico Ryans.
Well, D'Amico Ryans, such a great weapon on this team, and they were so happy to get him back out with a groin injury a week ago, and some question whether he would play, but he is the quarterback of this defense. He's the X factor, and the guy that Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator, said he can match wits with Eli Manning. I'm not worried about that, but we desperately need him against this no huddle.
And the Giants this time did huddle. They're back at the 8-yard line. Dangerous ground there, and Williams goes nowhere. Casey Matthews makes the tackle. Brother of Clay. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Casey Matthews didn't get off to a great start in his career here. Got some opportunities early, but after watching him last week, I thought he made more plays than I'd seen him make in a long time. And he's going to have to. Michael Kendricks is out with that calf injury, and he's been Mr. Sunday Night Football. He's been spectacular when we've seen him.
Casey played at Oregon for Kelly, and instead he joined them last year here. 3rd down and 10. From the 8. Manning with a short drop, and he'll go nowhere. And he's tackled at the 8-yard line. So Manning starting to run, but not very far. In fact, for no gain at all. 4th and 10 on a quick 3 and out.
Well, he was looking for Cruz on the outside, but you can tell they call it the clock in the quarterback's head. That he gets back there and he begins to say, all right, this is when I've been getting hit. Well, that clock has been accelerated in this game by the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Weatherford with his 3rd punt of the night out of the end zone. Sproles going to let it go, and it's going to bound out of bounds in Giants territory at about the 47-yard line. 10:07 to go in the half. 10-0 Philly. Chip Kelly never takes his foot off the accelerator since last year when he took over. 23.6 seconds per play. Fastest in the league. 22 this year. Time of possession is low, but he doesn't care. He used to get a lot of plays in. 24 TD drives, fewer than 5 plays. They can strike in a hurry, as you know. And 120 plays of 20 or more yards from scrimmage, most in the NFL. All offense all the time.
Chip Kelly gets it right into Nick Foles and then the other assistants to their position group, and they waste no time at all.
From the 47. Start on the ground. McCoy's going to swing it to the outside, get around the corner, and pick up a first down. LeSean McCoy. Get around McBride. He's already carried after a gain of 15, 10 carries, 80 yards.
Not the first time you ever seen LeSean McCoy bounce out, but watch the block by Jeremy Maclin on the outside. This is the kind of thing you fear. If they get this running game going, Philadelphia Eagles are going to be difficult to stop.
And the pass over the middle, short game, taken in by Riley Cooper to the 27. So how do they make the play call? Take a peek.
Well, you've got Chip Kelly first and foremost, going to send it right into Nick Foles, try to get it in as quickly as they can. Sometimes even have to wait for the system to reset, and then all the various assistant coaches will signal into their position group. They've got on armbands to signify I'm the guy to watch.
2nd and 4. Rolling right, buying time, wide open, touchdown, James Casey. The number 3 tight end gets free for 26 yards and a score.
Well, this is what happens. Anytime you get your running game going, the quarterback goes the other way all day, and you have no choice defensively. You have to stop LeSean McCoy, and you just get the sense that when Chip Kelly gets it going like this, when he sees his running game working, there's nothing he can't call, and the pace of the game just seems like the Giants aren't playing the way that they typically play.
Parkey for the point after. So another one of those quick strike drives, only 3 plays that time, 47 yards, 9-10 to the half, and it's 17-0. Wednesday night, it's rivalry night on NBCSN. Hockey on Wednesday night. The Boston Bruins and the Detroit Red Wings, 2 of the original 6, having had it at 7 o'clock Eastern time on NBCSN. We are in the city of brotherly LOVE. A lot of love for the Giants tonight, 17-0. And they'll start their next drive from the 20-yard line.
Well, they can't run the football, and when they try and throw it, this is what happens. You get Connor Barwin coming off the edge, beating Justin Pugh. You get Vinny Curry, their designated pass rusher, on the other side. And then how about a little bit of Trent Cole on this fancy little stunt, sending everybody. They're attacking the outside, they're attacking the inside, and they are making the New York Giants look bad.
From the 20-yard line. On first down. Start on the ground with Williams trying to get around the corner. He picks up about 5. You know, Chip Kelly was saying, I'm just waiting for the complete 60 minutes. They had 3 big comebacks in the first 3 weeks. Then they lost to San Francisco, had no offense at all, even though they had 3 return touchdowns. Last week, big lead against the Rams and almost blew it.
Well, you knew they were capable of this, but I didn't know if we were going to have to wait to see this offensive line come back intact before we ever saw it. But tonight, really, the key has been they got their running game going early.
2nd and 5. Manning looks downfield, and the pass is taken in by Ruben Randall. His second catch, Bradley Fletcher, rides him out of bounds. First down, New York.
Now, they've hit this one a couple of times now. They're just going one-on-one against the corners and driving with Ruben Randall well off the ball, sort of beyond that point where you expect some kind of break to happen. But because it's a bootleg action, Eli able to get it in there. They really need to work on these corners a little bit more. They're but the ones that have been struggling.
Williams again, going straight ahead up to the 46. Well, I'll tell you what, Williams last year at Boston College led the nation in rushing. Got a little work in. 355 carries for 2177. By the way, no receptions.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
I mean, just a screen pass, something you would expect him to have, but he was sitting there with the finalists at the Heisman Trophy award ceremony, and he's in pretty rarefied company with those numbers.
Already caught 4 passes from Manning this year, and then that pass into traffic is incomplete, intended for Beckham, and you got a flag. Flag back at the 36-yard line. Blakeman.
Odell Beckham said, "I'm brave, but not that brave."
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Offense. Number 70. 15-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
That's the rookie left guard Weston Richburg out of Colorado State.
Looked like it happened well after the ball was thrown. Right there on the tail end of that, it's just going to kind of put that spinal punch. All right, that one makes sense. It was fine till that point. The ball was already gone. You can see Richburg's trying to establish a little physical presence out there, but let's try doing it before the whistle blows.
It was their second-round choice. Halfway through the second quarter, now 17-0 makes it second down and 20.
Does it seem like it's been second down and 20 or line?
Thinking the same thing. They converted on a 3rd and 19 earlier. And a lot of second and thirds and long, 2nd and 20 here. Peyton Hillis is in the backfield next to Manning. Cruz in motion. Manning under pressure again, and that pass is incomplete. Trent Cole putting the heat on once again.
Well, it's really the proper call here. You got Trent Cole hugging up right here in the gap, but you got to block him a little bit. When you can't even get a screen pass off, you know things are happening too fast. If Eli could have held that another half a count, it looked like they had it set up pretty well. I think they're inside Eli's head a little bit right now, too.
His first incomplete pass, 5 of 6 for 76 yards. 3rd and 20 from the 31. Manning, juggling catches made, and that's Larry Donnell, the tight end. Way short of the first down, and Weatherford will see some more action.
Well, I tell you, the pressure is getting there. You can see Eli really on each of the last 2 passes. Yeah, with that look right there on his face. Sort of fading away from those throws. And when you're bringing the pressure right up the middle, believe me, the quarterback knows what's happening, and he's having to just get rid of the football as fast as he can.
Sproles to return it. Weatherford taking it toward the near sideline. Sproles collects at the 14. Has room. Darren Sproles across the 50, and down he goes at the 43-yard line. Donnell with the tackle. So the dangerous Sproles with a big-time run back here of 43 yards after a 49-yard punt. Philly with the ball, up 17. Tom Coughlin, and there he was on the sideline about a minute and a half ago, really giving it to his offensive line. But right now, for the 43-yard run back from the 43-yard line, Foles will send it into the arms of Jeremy Macklin for a gain of 3. Once again, go back to how with the flag coming in here. It's going to be offside against the Giants approachment. And Riley Cooper is also shaken up on the play. And Cooper bent over on the sideline. Comes out here.
Offside. Defense, number 90, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Jason Pierre-Paul, so instead of 2nd and 7, it's going to be 1st down and 5.
Right there. JPP's head slightly above the line of scrimmage, trying to get every advantage he can against Jason Peters on that side. I thought maybe they might move him around a little bit to avoid Jason Peters, but not so far. Really, haven't even got him in a pure pass rush situation yet.
And on the 1st and 5, slicing to the outside, gaining 3, is LaShawn McCoy.
And we talked about it before a little bit. Chip Kelly is going to signal into Nick Foles, and then the other assistant coaches will signal into their position group, either the tight ends, the offensive line, the wide receivers, the running backs, and so they just have to look for their role. No time wasted at all. Somehow they get the snap count out. I don't know how they do that.
On 2nd and 3. And give it to McCoy again. He's close to a 1st down. But you think you need a little concentration to play in this offense?
Yeah, if you play defense against it, I know you do. But the key to this, beating this team, is you can't allow them to have that first down. Because once they get drives started, your defense gets worn down. You can't make substitutions, and there are going to be issues there. And for right now, for the New York Giants, they just can't get off the field.
Going to have a measurement here because it's going to be either 3rd and inches or a 1st down as the chain gang comes in.
Not sure anybody hates measurements more than Chip Kelly. Slows the process.
A link. Oh, here we are at the link. It looked like a link, didn't it?
It did.
I guess if you're within a link, they give it to you.
At the link, when you're hot, you're hot. Let's go. Here comes McCoy back out, and boy, what about being able to sub in a back like LaShawn McCoy with Darren Sproles?
Now the pistol. A little swing, backward pass to Sproles, and he'll get hog-tied, taken down by the neck by Antrel Rolle, and of course that's going to bring a flag. Lassoing is illegal.
Well, especially when it happens basically out of bounds. That may end up being the question. He's kind of got his hand. It was.
There is no foul for having the face mask on the play. It'll be a 1st down, Philadelphia.
It looked insidious when you looked at it live, and then all of a sudden.
It's not that you can't hit a guy in the helmet. You just can't grab the face mask. And if you didn't grab the face mask, he's okay as long as it was considered inbounds.
Well, didn't they conferred?
Rolle said thank you very much.
The official who had the better view said So it turns out to be simply a gain of 5 and no penalty, and it'll be 2nd down and 5. Riley Cooper, who was shaken up a couple of plays ago, is back in the game. Good play fake, and then the pass is too high, incomplete, intended for Zach Ertz, who's already had a big night with 3 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown.
Now the Giants were really hoping they could keep Zach Ertz in as a blocker, because really some of the protection issues the Eagles have had, they've been forced in some ways to bring those tight ends a little closer in there and pass protect. But tonight with the pace, they really haven't had to do that. And once this team runs the ball out of spread formations, you're in trouble.
3rd and 5. And Foles is going to get out of trouble, and then Jason Pierre-Paul stops him from getting a certain first down on the run. 4th and 4.
He must have the longest arms in the world. I never thought he had a chance of making this play. It looked like Nick Foles was going to easily make this first down. Just timed it perfectly. Right there, just grabbed the ankle. And that was a big one.
Now Cody Parkey, this will be a 45-yard attempt for the rookie who played at Auburn. Picked up late in training camp and won the job from Alex Henry. 45-yard attempt is just good. Inside the right upright with 4:25 to go in the opening half. Eagles tack on 3 more and lead 20-0 on Sunday Night Football.
One stands above them all. 509.
So next week on Sunday Night Football, we will be in Denver. Great matchup to begin with anyway. San Francisco coming in. It's the 49ers against the Broncos. And a little bit of history could be made by the great number 18. Philadelphia, meanwhile, leading here 20-0 as the Giants try to get something going before the end of the half, and they will begin their drive from the 20. You know, you look at the schedule when it came out, we saw week 7. You thought, you know, if Manning throws a little less than like 3 touchdown passes a game, that could be the night. It could be the night.
There was a little calculating going on around NBC, wasn't there? Trying to guess that one exactly. It's hard to believe, though, that guy just a few years ago we were questioning, is he finished, the thing with his neck, and is he ever going to be able to come back and play at that level? Well, he has exceeded that level, and it appears no end in sight.
He threw 3 today in the home of his brother, the Giants and Jets, of course, both playing at the Meadowlands. Denver beat the Jets. 2 touchdown passes to Julius Thomas today, 1 to Demarius. Now the Giants trying to get something going on the ground, and Andre Williams unable to get untracked thus far. The rookie has carried the ball a total of 8 times for 21 yards.
Well, Bo Allen right here is just going to take on the center, J.D. Walton, who is not the biggest guy in the world, and they're just jamming it up in there. You can't start every series with either a penalty or a basic 1 or 2 yard run. Because now they start getting in pass rush mode, and that has been a nightmare for Eli tonight.
3-to-1 ratio in yards tonight. And
look at all the guys, Al, right around the center guard area. That's where they wanted to attack.
Just do get the play off, and here goes Williams, and they take care of the rookie before he can come close to turning the corner. D'Amico Ryans in on the tackle, 3rd and long upcoming.
And you can just see they are just plastered around the line of scrimmage. They're trying to match it with 2 tight ends, a fullback, and just play some power football. Maybe they thought because Michael Kendricks was out and they had backup linebackers in, Casey Matthews, Emmanuel Acho. But so far it has been nothing but 3rd and longs for Eli Manning, and that is no fun against these pass rushers. Now they've got all the pass rushers in the game.
Giants on 3rd down, an average of 15 yards to go. Here they have 10. Blitz coming. Manning has to step away and throw it away. Right through the middle came Malcolm Jenkins on a safety blitz, untouched. Manning forced to throw it away, 4th down.
This is all they've been doing, here and here, and then looping around. The tackles go wide, and there's just nobody there. Eli knows he has to get out of there. There's no answer for that, and the reason there's no answer for it is you can't run the football. You can't end up in 3rd down and 10 all night, or 3rd down and 20 as they've been much of the night, and have a chance.
Weatherford already his 5th punt of the night, and it's a terrible kick. But it takes a decent bounce for the Giants, and at least they don't give Sproles a chance to run it back. Chris Maragos came in and almost got a piece of it. Maragos got a piece of it the way it skidded off the foot. Take a look at this. Maragos, deflected it.
Well, I'm not sure there's a team in the league that spends more time on special teams than do the Philadelphia Eagles. Maragos already has a touchdown on the season. they have been simply destroying teams on special teams. They keep blocking kicks. They're returning them. We already saw Sproles tonight with a great return. One time after another, and Chip Kelly goes, hey, I sit in on every special teams meeting. That's the most important part of the game, in his opinion.
Mariota scored a touchdown last week in the opening minute of the game against St. Louis off a blocked punt 50-yard line. Sean McCoy, Dave Phipp is the special teams coach, and this is one very significant difference between these two clubs.
No doubt about it, and he's kind of a crazy man out there. He gets right out in the action and participates. He plays the opposing teams, and he'll blitz and knock them around and gets them fired up.
2nd and 6, catch made by Jordan Matthews. Name a non-crazy.
That's a good point.
Well,
that's a really good point.
Like John Harbaugh, you think of John was being a head coach. I mean, the craziness went away.
Yeah, but partly because you have to convince guys to want to do that, because everybody wants to start on offense or defense, and sometimes those special teams are that extra work.
2-minute warning. Philadelphia 20 and the Giants nothing. So the halftime coming up. Peyton closing in on Favre's record. 2 to tie, 3 to break. Aaron Rodgers does it at the end against Miami. And Bob will weigh in on the resurgent Cowboys who went into Seattle today and beat the Seahawks up there and have won 5 straight. 20 to nothing is the score. At the 44 on 1st and 10. And Foles pump fakes, fires over the middle, getting wide open to the 30-yard line is Riley Cooper, cutting across the middle, taken down at the 29.
Watch how quickly Jason Peters gets off the ball. It almost looks like he's offsides, but that has been the key. Jason Pierre-Paul, their best pass rusher, and he hasn't been getting close, and neither is anybody else.
And Foles transcending only 3, and he still completes it. Riley Cooper makes the catch again along the sideline, gain of 13.
Here comes Todd Herremans. Watch this one. Lane Johnson had the initial block, but you rush only 3, those guards start looking for open ribs.
Minute and a half the ball at the 16. Eagles go 5 wide. Now Sproles comes into the backfield. And Foles goes that way, and it is picked off at the 19-yard line by Antrell Roll. Exactly what the Giants needed at this point, intended for Sproles, who went into the backfield, then came back out the other way.
He got away with this earlier, but here's the mistake. He's going to look this way the whole way, didn't like it, feels the pressure, tries to flip it without really seeing what was out there, and he's lucky that one wasn't a touchdown the other way. A lot of conversation this week in Philadelphia about some of the footwork problems that Nick Foles been having, but that one he threw without looking.
Ball with his 3rd interception of the season. The Giants now have 9 on the year. Ball at the 25-yard line. So Philadelphia going for the kill shot before the half, and now all of a sudden the Giants feel they can get at least in the field goal range at 120. We only have 1 timeout, using 2 earlier. Now we got flags, and we got a false start.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
John Jerry.
Boy, it has just been one big mistake after another. Tom Coughlin, a guy who has sort of based his reputation on no turnovers and no big mistakes, has watched nothing but out here tonight. But it has been an overwhelming assault on this offensive line that has to be a little unexpected the way they've been playing lately.
Certainly after the first 2 weeks of the season. 4-man rush. Eli then throws, and that's caught by Randall. Flag is down here. Tackled by Fletcher. Six penalties already against the Giants, only 1 against
Holding.
Philly.
Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Well, that's going to make it Pugh With the penalty, 7 penalties now on New York.
Vinny Curry's going to try and get inside, and he just gets hooked. And probably a good thing that he did. So the speed of the outside pass rushers has just been too much for Justin Pugh tonight. Now, offensively, you certainly would love to get something going, but you don't want to hand the ball back to the Philadelphia Eagles offense because your offense is going in reverse.
1st and 25. Put it on the ground here, keep it there. Andre Williams. Now, will Philadelphia think about taking their timeouts? And they do right here. 2nd and 19. We can tell you that Sunday Night Football is being brought to you by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. By BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. By Subway, home of the famous $5 footlong. And by Fury in theaters, October the 17th. Joe Frazier sent off for bronzing on Saturday. Eventually live outside Xfinity Live here in Philadelphia. Smoking Joe.
Those fights with Ali are etched in everybody's memory.
So it's 2nd down and 19. After Chip Kelly takes his first timeout. And Manning stepping up, under pressure, whacked from behind. All he can do to hold on to the ball is Vinny Curry. That's his 2nd sack.
It's all coverage, all the way across the board. They got double on the outside on Randall. Maybe a little shot against Victor Cruz, who was going out and up, but by that time Eli's on his back, and then on the other side Beckham unable to get open as well. And I tell you, this has been one heck of a game plan so far by defensive coordinator Billy Davis. He has simply said, I am going to fire my shots. I'm coming after Eli Manning. Their offensive line can't block our guys. I'm not worried about getting beat in the secondary, and it has been overwhelming.
So Philadelphia just took its 2nd timeout, 3rd and 21 from the 14. Peyton Hillis turns it upfield to the 20. Now Philly can take its last timeout. They're going to get the ball back with a little less than a minute. Another timeout. So after Roll intercepts it, it looks like the Giants maybe can move into position at least for a field goal. They're going to wind up still down 20-0 and give Philly the ball back.
Well, it's tough to play the Eagles and play the Giants, and that's what the Giants are trying to do tonight. They are beating themselves. The only thing I will say is that the Eagles team typically, because they love to play at that pace, they really don't know how to slow it down. We saw in the Rams game last week, what was it, 34-7, something like that. Came all the way back. The Rams, but for a couple of drop passes on that final drive, might have been able to win that one.
Tom Quinn, the special teams coordinator in Philadelphia, probably trying to set up a potential block here because Weatherford will boot it away for the 6th time. They almost got there the last time. Weatherford in his career has never had a punt block. Talk about a kibosh, but he does get this one away. And a fair catch is called for and made at the 35-yard line. 52 seconds, no timeouts. That hardly matters the way Philadelphia runs things. They've gained 270 yards tonight. Have the Eagles to the Giants 87.
Well, Nick Foles, he was pretty plain with us. He said, listen, I'm never going to do what I did last year, the 27 touchdowns. It's not going to happen. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to throw interceptions, but I'm going to relax. I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to read the newspapers. I don't care. I play for my teammates. I'm not going to listen to all the noise. If I make a mistake, I'm just going out and firing again. So let's see what he does.
Noise in Philadelphia? You ever seen such consternation with the team 4-1? Here's Foles. And he's going to get sacked at the 32-yard line. So that's the first sack tonight. Montre Moore with the sack. And they can't stop the clock, so they get up to the line in a hurry at the 32.
I was wondering when this was going to happen. You've got one of the best pass rushers in the league in Jason Pierre-Paul. Put him on the other side. Put him against Lane Johnson. See what happens.
2nd and 13, and that's incomplete because the pressure was put on that time. Macklin was the intended receiver, and it'll make it 3rd and 13.
Yeah, now they've got Robert Ayers inside, and here's a guy that can apply some pressure. So now they're starting to get some of the matchups they want. They get Ayers inside against Matt Tobin one-on-one, and for the second straight time get pressure. So a little defensive switch now for Perry Fewell, and it's paying off.
3rd and 13. And they keep it on the ground this time to the 39-yard line. Will go Sproles, and the Eagles will be content to take. You would think this, but New York's going to take a timeout here because it's 4th down, and at least they're going to force Philadelphia to punt.
You know, I'm sure for Eli Manning, he's thinking we're going to go in 21 seconds. At least they're going to have a shot. Is that who they put back there? Is that Beckham?
It will be the rookie. Yep, Odell Beckham.
There's a guy. He is electric. Maybe they'll just want to take a shot with him.
This is Donnie Jones's 2nd punt. And Beckham's going to haul it in at the 16-yard line and get whacked right there. Jalen Watkins, rookie out of Florida. Sammy Watkins, older brother, with the coverage.
I don't know if Odell Beckham thought this was such a good idea. God love him, he's going to try and get something going here. But those Watkins kids can play. Old Sammy Watkins pretty good too, isn't he?
Not bad. The Buffalo wide receiver, 4th guy overall picked in the draft. So the Giants will just go into the locker room down 20-0, and they will get the second half kickoff.
But they don't really have a clue of what's going to work. There was not a moment in this first half that they did anything that you'd feel good about coming out in the second half.
Averaging only 3.3 yards per play. Eagles are averaging 7. And Manning is going to end it with a 1-yard run up to the 17-yard line. So the Philadelphia Eagles, with a mark of 4-1 coming in, played a great first half and lead it 20-0. Coming up next, the Toyota halftime after these messages.
Sunday Night Football's Game Changers. Brought to you by Bose, official sound of the NFL.
Sunday night, baby, nothing better.
Foles goes to the right, and it is Ertz touchdown. And Manning loses the ball. Manning will go down again.
He's having a rough night tonight.
Buying time, wide open, touchdown, James Paisley.
Bose, official sound of the NFL.
Eagles doing everything right on a sparkling, clear 57-degree night in Philadelphia. LeSean McCoy, 85 rushing yards, 7 yards per carry. Turned it around after a slow start to the season. Foles, 177 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And Manning, who'd been sacked 7 times all season, was sacked 5 times in the first half alone, most in a game since 2006 against the Eagles. Now the Giants will get the ball, see if they can get something started offensively, averaging only 3.3 yards per play in the first half. Cody Parkey to send it down toward Michael Cox. And we'll get a run back to start the second half. Cox brings it back out to the 24-yard line, and we check in with Michelle.
Al, a clearly exasperated Tom Coughlin told me at halftime, we've got to get our run going. These aren't the 1985 Bears we're playing. And to help protect Eli Manning, he said, we got to help our tackles. Look for Eli to take more three-step drops to get rid of the ball quicker. By the way, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, their cornerback, questionable with back spasms. As for Chip Kelly, he said, we got to play 60 minutes. Put them away. We haven't done it all season. This is a good test.
It's a good point, Michelle, because last week they had the game completely in hand. The next thing you know, St. Louis almost affected a total comeback. Philly holding on at the end. And Manning takes that three-step drop, and the pass is incomplete. Again, middle pressure coming from that Eagle D.
Well, that's where it's been all night long, Al, and they've set up everything. They're basically just jumping in every gap and blitzing. And if you can't stop that, I mean, that is like the most basic defensive style. Now, this is a little fancier here. Have those ends go out, the two linebackers alongside of them blitz the safety up the middle, but you have to come up with some answers and sometime soon, because right now the pace of this game at halftime was 548 yards to 178 if you extrapolate that out over a full game. So Tom Coughlin knows he has to answer soon.
Meanwhile, the Giants still can't get a running game going either. 11 carries, 30 yards for Williams. Again, Jennings, their number one back, hurt last week, inactive tonight. So Williams doing the bulk of the ball carrying tonight. The Giants go 5 wide. Manning under pressure again, hit as he throws, wobbly pass, incomplete. And Eli went down. Connor Barwin got in there again, 3 and out quickly.
Right here, you've got one of the really good nickel corners out there, Brandon Boykin. A lot of people think he should be starting on the outside. I had a long conversation with their defensive coordinator, Billy Davis, about that, and he said, hey, he had his chances. We worked him. We let him compete all year, and right now, Bradley Fletcher, Kerry Williams, our two best outside.
Weatherford, his leg is getting a heck of a workout tonight. To the 23-yard line goes this punt. Sproles will get forced out of bounds into the Eagles bench. So Weatherford has already punted 7 times tonight. That one good for 49 yards, 27. But Sean McCoy, much discussion about him in this town over the past couple of weeks. Yards per carry, 5.1 last year, won the rushing title. Came into this game averaging 2.9 before contact, 3.3 last year. Of course, with the upfront issues, missing 2 starters, he's averaging only 1.6, or was coming into tonight's game before contact.
Yeah, we're missing 3 starters at the beginning part of the year because Lane Johnson was suspended. So plenty of issues. And then, of course, the Washington game, even Jason Peters got thrown out of that one, so they're missing 4 starters.
Michelle talked about Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. He is not in here. So he's on the bench. And you have Zach Bowman taking his spot, and we go to Michelle.
And that, Al, is because Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie has been downgraded to out. Before they went into halftime, they were really working on stretching him out. It was just a no-go, Al.
No-go for him, and that means number 31, Zach Bowman, has done a good job tonight on special teams. Takes his spot, pass to the outside. Amu Kamara makes the tackle on Selleck.
Well, you know, as impressive as the Eagles have been tonight, they're only 2 for 6 on 3rd down. And here's when teams make comebacks, or when teams beat the Eagles, here's where they do it. When they make you go 3 and out on the first drive, their defense gets limited rest, get their offense back on the field. The Giants desperately need a play right here.
Number 35 on 3rd and 5. Foles escaping. Keeps his eyes downfield, and it's picked off at the 40-yard line by Zach Bowman. So Bowman taking the spot of Rodgers-Cromartie. There's a flag down at the 26-yard line. So the Giants with a pick at the end of the first half.
Holding, offense, number 65. That penalty's declined. First down, New York.
That's Lane Johnson.
Ever since they made this switch, they've taken Jason Pierre-Paul and put him against Lane Johnson over here on the offense's right side. Now you get Foles out of the pocket. He simply did not see Bowman down the field. Bowman, a veteran guy, had 3 interceptions with the Bears. a season ago, just reads that perfectly and comes up with a play that the Giants just desperately needed.
And they desperately need some points here. Blank to this point in the game, down by 3 scores. And this is Williams with some decent running here, taking the ball to the 15-yard line, setting up a 2nd down and 4 after a gain of 6.
And when you talk to the Eagles about when does Nick Foles get in trouble, it's typically when plays get extended, not when he's getting the ball out of his hand quickly. They like it when he's on rhythm and throwing quickly, but when those plays get extended like that last one, problems arise.
We saw the 7-pitch, 3 fumbles as well, including one last week that helped get St. Louis back in the game. Williams over the right side and swarmed by the Eagle defense. 3rd down.
One of the things that new offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo had to convince Tom Coughlin of, yes, I want to go into the hurry-up offense, but I will not abandon the run. They have a rule of 53, completions and runs during the course of a game. And right now, they're going to need one of those completions probably.
Not even close. They have 17 running plays and 6 completions. So it's the rule of 23 to this point. 3rd and 4 from the 15-yard line. Manning over the middle into traffic, and it's juggled and caught. Flag down. Larry Donnell somehow comes up with the ball pending the penalty.
That is an unbelievable play right there.
Insane. If this stands.
Nolan Carroll knocked it down, or he thought he did.
Holding. Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
It's Will Beatty, the left tackle.
Right here, going to hook Trent Cole coming around the outside. Watch this catch. No doubt about it, Nolan Carroll got his hands on the ball, and Donnell was still able to catch it, and that's the kind of night it's been for Tom Coughlin and company.
That moves it back to the 25-yard line and makes it 3rd down and 14. 8 accepted penalties tonight against the Jets.
Watch out for this inside pressure again.
Here they come. Manning under pressure, gets jostled, the throws, and it's caught. It's going to be a 1st down. Beckham will make it a 1st and goal and a flag at the end of the play. He's looking for a face mask out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Nate Allen with the coverage.
Boy, this Odell Beckham is quick. Eli was pretty quick on that one, too. That was a heck of a play by Eli.
And obviously the penalty is going to be against
Philadelphia. There is no foul on the play for an offensive face mask. The runner had his hand on the mask but no grasp. The result of the play is a 1st down, New York.
Well, not so obvious. Beckham thought maybe for a second he was going to get called for offensive the face mask, but instead no foul, 1st and goal.
Just look how quickly this guy can stop, and these are professional corners on the outside. Saw it last week, you're seeing it again here. Any grasp of that face mask? Well, maybe the index finger, if you want to count that in the thumb. Probably could have been called as a face mask.
Peyton Hillis is in the backfield. Give it to him. Nowhere. 2nd and goal. Benny Logan in the middle makes the stop. 96.
Benny Logan's really having his way with J.D. Walton right inside, and a lot of these big guys right here. This guy took over about 8 games into the season a year ago, and he is not relinquishing that job. He's been fantastic and getting better. And there's some good young players there as well. Bo Allen, we've seen him make some plays, and maybe not so young, but Brandon Bear, another back, has played well too.
Blitz again. Manning throwing, and it's incomplete. Donnell, the intended receiver in the end zone. Malcolm Jenkins, the safety, hanging with him. 3rd and goal.
So nice to have safeties that can play man coverage against tight ends, against backs, and occasionally against wide receivers. Malcolm Jenkins, he was a cornerback coming out of college. As a matter of fact, he was an award-winning cornerback. Saw why there.
Over Ohio State, last 5 years with the Saints. Philly picking them up in the offseason. 3rd and goal.
Let's see if they can handle the middle pressure this time. At least they're showing it. And now they're coming out of it. Now DeMeco Ryans is saying, nope, get out of it.
Cruz. And Cruz will get tackled at the 2-yard line by Nolan Carroll.
It's a great job of quarterbacking the defense by DeMeco Ryans right there. Eli made the audible. DeMeco Ryans, watch him right here. No, let's call up the blitz. Zone, back up. Eli's got the man route on. They were trying to pick there on the outside. Great job of defense.
And Coughlin's going to go for it. You almost have to here. I mean, it's early in the game, but 20-3 still makes it a 3-possession game. You're going against that Eagle offense. You got to go for it. 4th down and goal from the 3. Eli throwing, and it is batted away at the end. Victor Cruz could not hang on. Brandon Boykins there, and Cruz grasping the right knee on top of it all. Giants can't get into the end zone. Cruz can't handle it. Philly has the ball. Well, we're back live, and Cruz is still down. They bring the card out. They're going to try to get him to his feet. Twisted the right knee. The ball was there. Boykin never got a hand on it, but Cruz, with Coughlin right there, Cruz, the knee starting to buckle. He'll get a ride back to the locker room. And so for the Giants, about as bad as it gets right now.
Right knee, right when he plants to try and go up for this ball. You can see it obviously completely distracted on a relatively easy catch for Victor Cruz. And the ultimate sort of sign of respect, not only his teammates crowded around and taking a knee, but also many of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive players out there as well. Very popular player, Pro Bowl in 2012, led the Giants in catches and receiving yards each of the last 3 years. And a bad night, it just got much worse.
Let's go to Michelle.
Well, I can't remember the last time I've covered an injury where I heard so much screaming in pain and agony, Al. Not just when Cruz was on the ground and the medical staff was attending to him, but in particular when they picked him up to put him on that cart. It was as though the pain were just coming back and resurging. He is sobbing, as you can see. He's been sobbing basically since he went down, knowing this is probably quite serious, Al.
Michelle, yeah, there he goes back to the locker room, and clearly he understands the extent of what it is. We'll, of course, wait for the report from the locker room, but acknowledged by the Eagle fans here on a play in which he had an opportunity with the ball over Boykin's head. Would have been a touchdown had he held on. Instead, it's a 4th down play, and Philadelphia takes over back at the 3-yard line, and then McCoy tries to give them some breathing room, and he does with a 9-yard gain out to the 12-yard line. Tackle there by Amukamara.
Now, this has been a night for Sean McCoy, and we really have not seen this year. I was talking to Jason Peters, their Pro Bowl left tackle, and he said, just take some time when you've got somebody new inside of you like Matt Tobin, and it looks like this offensive line may be growing a bit.
And quarterback will keep it himself as Foles picks up a 1st down.
And that's one of those plays that you don't want your quarterback to do too often. But this read option now, if this end comes crashing down and just occasionally the quarterback pulls it down and picks up a 1st down, it unsettles you a little bit as a defensive end because you get used to him not doing it.
Play action, look at that time. And it's caught by Jordan Matthews. Well, Eli has to be jealous. Eli said no time tonight, and there's Foles who could have read a book in the pocket.
Well, here we've got, if you're on the outside, Brent Selleck doing a pretty good job against JPP, who is chasing the run down the line. But as dynamic as it's been for the Philadelphia Eagles tonight, for the New York Giants, they were just handed a gift and couldn't cash in on it.
And McCoy can't get anything happening here. Tackled there by Beeson. Let's go to Michelle.
Guys, we just found out that Victor Cruz is out with a torn patella tendon in that right knee. So, as we suspected, serious, and as we knew, down for the count tonight.
All right, Michelle, the bad news, and pretty evident there just watching what happened on the play. Second down and 11. And the handoff goes to McCoy. And McCoy inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. LeSean McCoy, showing you why he won that rushing title last year. Not the guy who was averaging 2.9 coming in. That's a gain of 28.
Now we're starting to see a little bit of the mobility here from this offensive line as well. I thought that was sort of reserved for Jason Kelce and Evan Mathis. But anytime you get blockers in front of this guy and get him into the secondary, look out.
Under 7 to go in the third quarter. McCoy has gained 121 yards tonight. Sproles is in the game. It's a three-man rush. And over the middle, it's caught close to a first down, goes Brent Selleck. Game by game for McCoy this year. You go back to week 1, 74, then 79, then only 22 and 17. That in San Francisco. Last week he had 81 yards, and tonight averaging 7.5 yards per carry.
I think some fantasy owners are enjoying this evening. Of course, he and Adrian Peterson probably the top 2 taken all year.
Marshall's right in there too. On second down and 1, Brent Selleck makes a catch for a first down. Tackled by Quentin Demps.
And right now, the Giants are trying to play a little bit more of pass coverage. Backing off, not blitzing, and Nick Foles just picking them apart. No pressure to speak of whatsoever. These defensive linemen, they get exhausted when they have to go play after play like this.
This is the 8th play of a drive that started back at the 3-yard line. Sproles with an escort, turns the corner, gets to the end zone. Touchdown. Malcolm Peters provided the convoy, and they go 97 yards in 4 minutes.
There we go. Watch Jason Peters. He runs a 4.6. 4.6 for an offensive lineman, able to get out and hook John Beeson, one of the fastest linebackers that there is, and that set up the play. And Jason Peters used to play tight end. As a matter of fact, once caught a game winner against Eli Manning's team.
Parkey adds point number 27 with 5.5 to go in the third. Sproles to the end zone. 27-0 Philly. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Bose, official sound of the NFL. By National Car Rental. Go national, go like a pro. By T-Mobile, unleash from wireless restrictions. And by Volkswagen TDI Clean Diesel. Friday night high school football. Council Rock South High School beat William Tennant High School 46-41. Partner, you had the over in that one, didn't you?
I would just like to do one that close.
Justin Pugh, the Giants tackle, went to Council Rock High. As Michael Cox the 25-yard line. That's why you get the big bucks. That's a good line. 27-0. Philadelphia with 5:18 left in the third. When all hell breaks loose, only one man can save us from DC Comics, Constantine. Premiering Friday, October the 24th, right after Grimm here on NBC. Speaking of all hell breaking loose in Grimm, the Giants are down 27-0. 5:18 to go in the third. Preston Parker We'll now see a lot of action because Cruz is out. Parker becomes the number 3 receiver, and Manning will throw, and it's too high and incomplete, intended for Ruben Randall. Second down.
You know, one of the things they've really worked on with Eli Manning is all the footwork. They want him to sort of act like a ballroom dancer out there, and it's all coordinated with the receivers. But all that footwork tonight has been thoroughly messed up because you can see Eli thinks pressure's getting there even when it's not. You know, he's just sort of a little jerky in that pocket because all night long he's had to get that thing out in about 2 seconds.
8 for 15 is Eli for 103 yards. Second and 10. Williams, cannot get on track. Nothing but black shirts. First time the Eagles have worn all black Coxes there for the tackle. For the Giants, well, take a look at this murderer's row coming up at Dallas next week. They won 5 straight, then a bye week. Then the Colts come into the Meadowlands, and the Giants go to Seattle. They get San Francisco in the Meadowlands, and then Dallas on a Sunday night in November in New York. Yikes.
It's a team that scored 30, 45, and 30 the last 3. You can't get out of their own way tonight.
3rd and 10. Manning this time is protected. The pass is caught, but Randall had to come back to make the catch. We'll see what they give him forward progress. Fletcher stopping him, and it will still be short of the first down. 4th and 1.
You know, it's one of the things as a receiver, you've got to get well past this line because you're going to have to come back to make the catch. You can't. Whatever. Ruben Randall has grown a lot. Let me say that. When you watch him, he is polishing his skills. Physically, he can do things. He just has to sort of get the whole big picture part of things, and I do think he's going to be a very effective receiver in this league.
Well, they're going to punt 4th and 1 in their own territory. This is lick your wounds time. Weatherford. And it's fair caught at the 21-yard line. Weatherford with 8 punts tonight. 27-0 Eagles. Well, as good as that Eagle offensive line has been tonight, those 2 guys are really good, and they are out for probably a couple of more weeks. They expect them back maybe for the Carolina game, which would be November 10th. But the other guys doing the job, Molt, Tobin, have been terrific tonight. And LaShawn McCoy has made that pay off with his best night of the season, and that continues. He's up to the 40-yard line before he was forced out of bounds.
Well, you think this offensive line's been getting it done tonight? They have. There's Jason Peters. He has been the dominant force up front. Even some of the tight ends. We've seen Brent Selleck with some great blocks. But also with some of the mobility of these other offensive linemen have come into play. And David Molt's not a real big guy, but he was the Remington Award winner as the best center in the country at Michigan. And his ability to pull and get outside sort of resembles a little bit of what Jason Kelsey's been able to do in his career. So those 2 guys done a nice job here tonight.
Macklin just made that last catch, a gain of 7. Macklin quiet tonight, 2 catches for 16 yards, the leading receiver. So it's been McCoy, and it's been the tight ends, and look at the time Foles has, and he checks it down. The pass intended for Sproles is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Now you can see it a mile away that this defensive line of the Giants have been reduced to just playing the run. I mean, they cannot stop the run, so they are sitting there looking for LaShawn McCoy and Darren Sproles, and then when it's a play-action pass, Nick Foles is back there as long as he wants to be.
Philly has rushed for 173 yards tonight. 401 yards of total offense late in the 3rd. Adding to that is Sproles with a first down. They're 22nd of the game to 6 first downs for the Giants.
And if you've seen all or most of these Eagles games, you know their record probably would not have been what it was if Darren Sproles hadn't been here. I mean, on special teams, some brilliant returns, some great catch and runs, and some just pure runs. was interesting talking to Chip Kelly about that. He said we knew all the other stuff, but he's ended up being just a rock-solid running back for us.
All right, snap. Whoops. Sproles in. It's dropped. And the ball is still loose, or did they call it down before it came out of Huff's grasp? And they do there. Philadelphia will retain possession. So Huff dropped it, but was able to fall on it to keep possession.
Well, Huff's one of those guys they thought maybe could take on some of the Deshaun Jackson roles. He's a quick guy, he's able to run, but that one just never materialized. And luckily for him, they gave him the ball back. The thing was ripped out of there, but Huff, they're trying to find a role for him. They think he's a quick guy, can do some things, but believe me, he is no Deshaun Jackson.
Not a clean transfer from Sproles, who takes the ball to the, you know, as Sproles started his career in San Diego, then do New Orleans, and now in his 10th season, and Sproles is down, still down, as you look at scrimmage yards, punt and kick return yards. And there's a first player with 6,000 or more from scrimmage, 10,000 or more punt and kick return yards, but right now he is he was shaken up in the first quarter, and we'll need some assistance here in getting back up.
What a dynamic player he has been. Let's see what happens. Sometimes when you get stuck in those piles and your legs get folded underneath you, you can see him grabbing for that knee. Just wonder, boy, he's a tough guy. Just wonder how much the New Orleans Saints have been thinking about not having him on their team this year. Between he and Jimmy Graham, it was almost impossible on 3rd and 5 or less to stop him, because one of them had to get one-on-one coverage. This crowd loves this guy.
Yeah, it seems I don't need any assistance. I'm getting up. Sproles comes walking over to the sideline. One thing, even if it is sore, he's got a bye week next week. Philly is off. Play again in 2 weeks at Arizona. And so McCoy with 139 yards on the ground tonight comes back in. It's 3rd down and 13 from the 50-yard line. And Foles will throw it, and it'll be caught out of bounds by Zach Ertz. You know, Chris, actually Philly's playing a little slower tonight. They came in averaging a play every 22 seconds tonight, every 24.3.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we talked about a little bit in that Rams game last week. They blew that huge lead. And sometimes, as much as you want to play fast offensively, you can't do that to the defense because you don't want to take a lot of chances on offense, whatever the case. So maybe they are trying to run the clock, but they don't do it well. You can see that. They don't really know how to play at that pace.
Not in Kelly's DNA, and Beckham loses the ball, and it will bound out of the end zone as Josh Huff came in, and now they'll discuss what they're going to call this. It's a muff punt.
Well, you can't return a muff, but because the ball ends up loose and nobody ever actually had possession, they're going to call this a touchback, I believe.
That will be the end result of it.
Ruling on the field is a touchback. New York's ball, 1st and 10 from the 20.
Muff that never had possession, out of the back of the end zone it went, and the Giants will get the ball at the 20.
It was just neat. It looked like one of those soccer plays where the guy just, Josh Huff just kneaded out of the back of the end zone. You know, I know this sounds like we're trying to keep the crowd and everything, but I've seen this before, especially with the Eagles playing and their pace and everything that goes into it. If the Giants could just make a play, they just can't make a play.
Don't touch that dial. Beckham, he juggles it, but incomplete. Ball is loose. Philly winds up with it, but the play whistle dead, and Sproles will go back to the locker room.
So Darren Sproles goes off, and to complicate matters, we talked about it a little bit earlier, LaShawn McCoy, the only other running back that they have. Now, I guess James Casey, who's played a little fullback, maybe you could hand it to him, but they probably, if LaShawn McCoy were to get dinged, probably just go spread and have to throw it every down.
2nd and 10. And Andre Williams will take us most likely to the end of the 3rd quarter. 3 quarters in the books at the Link in Philadelphia with a score of Eagles 27, Giants nothing. And Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. Central Philadelphia on this Sunday night. Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. The Philadelphia Eagles on their way to a probable 5-1 record. The Giants would drop back to 500. Dallas has won 5 straight, on top in the NFC East right now at 5-1, and the Giants will go to Dallas next Sunday. 4th quarter begins on a 3rd and 5 for Manning from the 25-yard line. And we start with a penalty.
Ball start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
9 penalties against the Giants tonight. That's Jerry again. Only 1 against Philadelphia.
Well, they sort of just cobbled together an offensive line. John Jerry came over from the Dolphins. J.D. Walton really had not played since week 4 of 2012. The rookie Weston Richburg had to play because of the injury to Jeff Schwartz. But this is the first time, at least since the first 2 weeks of the season, that they've been exposed like this.
3rd and 10. And Eli lets it fly into double coverage and incomplete. Randall was targeted there. Poor thing, you know, talking about that Philly defense, and Bill Davis he was actually on the same staff in San Francisco about a decade ago with McAdoo.
Mike McCarthy.
And Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
We're together, of course, in Green Bay the last 8 years.
So I think they have learned a thing or two. We learned that you want to pressure that defense and pressure them right up the middle. But really, the story was the Giants never got the running game going. That was really what surprised me.
Here's Macklin back to accept Weatherford's 9th punt of the night at the 31-yard line. Early for it, 27-0. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, serving the armed forces and their families. By the new Samsung Galaxy S5, the next big thing is here. By Bud Light, stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Toyota, let's go places. The Selleck family, Brent, uncle, father, girlfriend, enjoying a meal last night at Brent's restaurant, Prime Stack in Philadelphia. Now from the 31-yard line, this is McCoy going nowhere, taken down behind the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
Jonathan Hankins in there, who's played so well so far this season, leads the Giants with 2.5 sacks. Made a brilliant move to end the game a week ago. Did a big sack there, but so far tonight unable to shut down the running game of the Eagles, and that's really been the difference. Sean McCoy now has seen his average rise from 2.9 to 3.7 on the year in just one night.
Well, they go no huddle, but they bleed a lot of the clock down, and now Foles nearly gets sacked and is able to get the pass away. Quentin Demps came in. 3rd down. Here's Michelle.
Well, you saw Darren Sproles go to the locker room. Team orthopedist Peter DeLuca tested the stability of the MCL and ACL in that left knee, and whatever news he delivered to Sproles made the running back pretty unhappy, and you saw them head off to the locker room. He is questionable with the left knee. That's the official status.
Well, I would assume he's not going to play the rest of the game tonight. Michelle, as I mentioned before, at least they have an off week next week. Don't play again until 2 weeks from today in Arizona. Jordan Matthews will swing to the outside. to the 40, and at least if he can't make it back by the Arizona game, maybe Chris Polk will. He'd be the backup running back.
Yeah, this Jordan Matthews is a guy that is pretty intriguing to me. He just tore up the SEC. He led them in receptions and in yards, all-time leader, and on a team at Vanderbilt where everybody knew they were going to throw him the ball. I mean, he was the superstar of that team. And he's a guy that, if anything, they need to slow him down a little bit. They're talking, sometimes he runs right through the holes because he works so hard.
Donnie Jones is a flag down. And the ball will roll to a stop at the 15-yard line. And we'll check the penalty. Gee, a punt return with a penalty. What a shock.
Number 37 of the kicking team went out of bounds voluntarily and came back in. It's a 5-yard penalty, which will be added on to the end of the run. First down, Philadelphia.
13-11 left in the fourth. 27 of it. In the NFC East, no team has repeated as a division champ since 2004 when the Eagles did it. You have the Cowboys winning the division in 7 and 9. Giants 5, 8, and 11 winning 2 Super Bowls along the way. Eagles 4, 6, 10, and 13. No team has repeated as the champ since the Eagles did it 4 years in a row between 2001 and 2004. And Manning will dump it off to Hillis. And Hillis takes it up to the 30-yard line. Updated standings right now. Who would have thought? Dallas 5-1. Philly's going to go to 5-1 unless disaster strikes here. The Giants at 3-2 will go to 3-3, and then Washington 1-5. First down from the 30-yard line. And Manning will get sacked back at the 26-yard line. Connor Barwin coming in, and that's 6 sacks of Manning tonight.
Tough night for Justin Pugh tonight, no question about it. The pressure has been there. There's nothing particularly difficult about that. It's just Connor Barwin, who's red hot. He had 2 sacks a week ago, and he has been unblockable along with everybody else on this defense tonight.
And that's 3 sacks for him tonight. Curry has a couple. 6 total, second and 14. And a little dump pass to Hillis to the 30. You know the great thing about the National Football League?
Tell me.
Here it is. From on high. You think you know, but you don't know. I mean, you come in tonight, the Giants are so confident. We thought the Giants would probably win the game.
Well, you know, even Jerry Jones at the beginning of the year, remember, he was even saying, well, I don't know what kind of team we're going to have, and, you know, we're doing this or that. He's probably shocked at what's happened down there.
3rd and 11 from the 29-yard line. And intended for Hillis and incomplete. And by the way, totally under the radar. How about Bruce Arians in Arizona? I mean, you lose Palmer. Now Palmer comes back today. You lose Stanton. I mean, and the Arizona Cardinals are on top in the NFC West right now, with Seattle losing today. Arizona all alone 4-1.
Bruce Arians was given sort of a nice parting gift in Pittsburgh, and I think that they thought, well, you know, we've been at this level, but we think we can go on to somewhere else, and Bruce Arians probably a little more respected there now, too.
10th punt of the night, and Weatherford has that one skitter into the end zone. 11 minutes to go. The Philadelphia Eagles, all Eagles tonight, 27-0. The Dew Tour is back. 2-day event that spans coast to coast, Portland, Oregon, to the Big Apple. The Dew Tour next weekend on NBC and NBCSN. Eagles have it, 20-yard line. And McCoy adding 1 yard to his total.
Well, there's an old saying in the NFL, it ain't about the X's and O's, it's about the Billies and Joes. And right now the Billies are whipping the Joes badly on the field. You can draw up anything you want, but when your guys are just physically getting manhandled up front one-on-one, it doesn't matter what you draw up.
2nd and 8. A little hard count here, and you have Antrel Roll coming across the line. This would be, if it's on the Giants, their 10th penalty.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 26. He was across the line and unabated to the quarterback. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
10 punts for the Giants tonight and 10 penalties. 10-10 on your dial. Second and 4. Up to the 31.
Here's some of the Billies and Joes right here. Jason Peters, who I think is one of the best players at any position in the National Football League. Amazing feet, gets off the ball so quickly. Pro Bowl 6 out of the last 7 years, and the only year he didn't make it is because he had tore his Achilles in 2012. But aren't many athletes like that playing tackle in the National Football League.
You're looking at the coaches on the sideline here.
See, that's what they do. Is they look at the set, the defensive set, and then they just say, all right, let's raise up, let the coach change the play, and we'll get something perfect.
They should do that to the strings of YMCA. Chip Kelly, well, he's an interesting character. And you look at his background, and everybody's sending in like a bunch of third base coaches. What a path he took to the National Football League. Native of New Hampshire. And again,
I mean, basically what they're doing is squinting right now.
They're not used to this with the milk and the clock, which is something they never do. Only in situations like this. And now you got Trey Burton, who's a fullback. He'll carry it. You look at Chip Kelly, New Hampshire. He was a high school coach in Manchester for a while. Then he went to the University of New Hampshire as an assistant. He gets hired in Oregon as an assistant, elevated to the head coaching job, has 4 spectacular years there. And then when Jeff Lurie had to finally find a replacement for Andy Reid after 14 seasons, that was choice number 1.
Remember when the conversation was, oh, what's that college guy going to do when he comes to the NFL? We'll have this thing solved in no time. Not so fast.
Screen is set up here, and that's going to net a first down as Jordan Matthews moves the change.
They're just so good at plays like this where they can hit you so quickly. You get used to that motion going back and forth, and all of a sudden it's just a jet screen out there with blockers in front as they come across, and before you can make your defensive adjustments, they're on you and end up picking up easy first downs. I tell you, every time I put on one of the tapes of this offense, I always learn a little something new about the game of football.
2-yard gain for McCoy.
I think you hit it right on the head, though. I think this is their version of milking the clock. They get over the football. They look like they're ready to go. If they feel like they've got the perfect play, then fine, we'll take it and run it quickly. If not, let's raise back up. We'll look over at coach again.
Right.
But they're staying at the line of scrimmage, so their tempo stays the same. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's milk the clock down a little bit. This may be their version of it. They get the fullback.
They clock down to 5. And again, this is the fullback. Trey Burton to the 49-yard line with 6.5 to go. New Hampshire, they said live free or die in his home state. Live fast or die is Chip Kelly's mantra these days.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be put in categories, does he? Doesn't matter, okay, you're a hurry-up team. No, we're not. We take our time. We can change the plays. We can, well, sometimes you don't like the time of possession. No, we like time of possession. I don't know what you say. But he sort of has the counter-argument to it because he's been hearing about this offense in one form or another forever. And basically all I say now is it's working pretty well.
And 3rd and 6. Burton again. Stop to the 50. Well, Kelly, among other things, loves sports science. His practice schedule is different. I shouldn't even call it practice. He says it's not practice. It's training. Well, I guess Allen Iverson, what he meant to say was training? Training?
Training. But they do it completely differently. Most teams almost do nothing at all on Saturday before the game. Well, he gives the guys off on Friday, and they practice pretty hard on Saturday, and a lot of the guys don't like it. They feel like that their legs, and a lot of the players were saying, well, the reason we've been off to slow starts early in the season was we practiced on Saturday. He don't want to hear it. He's staying with his system.
Donnie Jones' punt, fair caught at the 7-yard line by Preston Parker. 27-0 Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football. With NFL Mobile, stream live, local, Sunday afternoon, and primetime games right on your mobile device. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. From the 7-yard line, the New York Giants trailed since Philadelphia's first possession tonight. With the opening kickoff, got a field goal off that. Williams with his longest run of the night. The rookie takes the ball out to the 24-yard line. Gain of 17.
And the Eagles now just sort of back in a little bit more of a prevent kind of defense. But this night has been about a little bit of LaShawn McCoy. Let's give him credit, but really about the defense. The last time the Eagles had a shutout, December 1st, 1996, 24-0 over the New York Giants.
And Preston Parker to the 30-yard line. Next week on to Dallas, try to get it going against the Cowboys, and also try to stop DeMarco Murray. Well, do it after you lose Victor Cruz. We're not going to say it's a season-ending injury with a torn patellar tendon. That's a while.
Better learn how to block all those gaps. We'll see it again.
2nd and 4. To the 42. NFL buzz boy Joe Flacco goes down to Tampa. Throws 4 touchdown passes in the first quarter. Tommy Kramer did it back in '86. Carolina and Cincinnati played to a 37-37 tie, with the Bengals missing a field goal that would have won it at the end of overtime. And DeMarco Murray's phenomenal season continues. And Manning throws over the middle, and that's Daniel Fells, and he loses the ball inside the 40 and back to the 46-yard line as Casey Matthews comes away with it.
And now, even with a lot of backups in the game, these Philadelphia Eagles defensively, they are loving this. They want this shutout tonight.
And back we come to the Lincoln Financial Field, where Philadelphia can possibly run the clock out here with a first down or 2. Trey Burton doing the heavy lifting here at the end of the game, as McCoy has 22 carries for 149, and Sproles is back in the locker room.
Yeah, the minute Darren Sproles came out of the game hurt, LaShawn McCoy followed him right to the bench. They're not going to get him hurt tonight. New system for the Philadelphia Eagles to milk the clock.
trying to cut back the other way. You think Tom Coughlin is channeling W.C. Fields about now?
It's almost hard to explain, isn't it? How does a team go from the way they're playing for the last 3 weeks and come in here and get as overwhelmed? I mean, this is not just a beatdown. This is getting overwhelmed at the point of attack on the offensive line.
2-minute warning. And Chip Kelly's going to get his 60-minute effort tonight as the Eagles will go to 5-1.
In a career of milestones, only one stands above them all. 5-0-9.
27-0 Philadelphia on top. 3rd down and 7 at the 2-minute warning. And a first down can take us all the way to the parking lot. And it's dropped. And we can tell you that coming up after the game, Volkswagen postgame report. Michelle down on the field interviewing the stars of the game who might be wearing black uniforms tonight. Bob Costas, Tony Dungy, Mike Florio wrapping up the game and this week in the National Football League, and take a look ahead to 49ers Broncos next Sunday night.
While we're looking ahead, can we look back for a minute
to W.C. Fields?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah,
well,
just
do that. The great actor and
right. I know
right, comedian. Late 1800s and 1900s, and it's been 50 different ways. Apparently he at one point said on his epitaph he wanted it to say better here than in Philadelphia.
Okay.
That got turned around to, all things considered, I'd rather be in Philadelphia. 15 different ways it's been back and forth. By the way, Philadelphia was his hometown, so he was notorious, or noted, not notorious, for Philadelphia jokes, but he was actually buried at Forest Lawn in Glendale, California, and all it had was his name.
Who knew?
Didn't you learn this in Gainesville, for crying out loud?
No, I gave you the same look I gave my calculus professor. What are you talking about?
Ryan Nassib will finish the game as quarterback for the Giants up to the 10-yard line. Of course, we'll see Eli's brother next week. It's Peyton looking to tie and then go past Brett Favre. 3 to become the all-time leader in touchdown passes. And the matchup is great to begin with. Denver and San Francisco next Sunday night.
I'm going to go with the over what his brother scored here tonight.
I think so. The pass is taken in by Adrian Robinson. It'll look good on the stat sheet. I think somebody also, I think Fields might have said, I spent a weekend, I spent a whole month in Philadelphia last Sunday. Whatever. But
we should have started this in the 3rd quarter. We could have had a lot of things we could have talked about.
This is when you empty the saddlebags.
What else do you have there on your little computer?
Tomorrow's futures. Doesn't look like a good open for the market tomorrow either. From the 39-yard line. And let's check in with Michelle.
Al, the New York Giants have just informed us that Victor Cruz is going to be heading to a local Philadelphia hospital and admitted tonight. He's expected to travel home tomorrow. I can tell you that his wife is with him, as is his brother-in-law and several family members who are outside the locker room right now waiting to accompany Cruz to the hospital, Al.
Yeah, torn patella tendon, Michelle, and just a sad sight to watch him, knowing how severely he was hurt, being carted off the field. And if the Giants were ever going to get back in the game, that was the moment, because he had gotten free in the end zone. The Giants were trying to cash in on a turnover to get back into the game, and about as bad as it gets. Meanwhile, the Eagles stars tonight with under a minute to play. Nick Foles 2 TDs, 248. McCoy, his best game of the season, average of almost 7 yards per carry. And Zach Ertz had those 3 receptions in the first half to get him really rolling.
Yeah, and that touchdown catch really is what jump-started this football team. But there's a story, not only what they did defensively, but they desperately needed to get Sean McCoy going. And now they can quit hearing about some of the noise and Deshaun Jackson and all the other stuff.
Time was going because the Giants took a timeout. And Massiv's going to get sacked, lose the ball for the moment, try to recover it. Brandon Graham comes in, and the Giants will retain possession. But it's been a sack fest for Philadelphia tonight. That's 7 sacks.
It just looks like the Eagles across the board were faster tonight than the New York Giants. And now, defensively, when they get it cranked up like that, and for Brandon Graham, here's a first-round draft pick, maybe a little bit of a disappointment, but he's starting to make some plays now as that third pass rusher for the Eagles.
And the Giants again take a timeout.
Giants want no part of that goose egg on the board.
Yeah. Second down and 19. 10 punts, 10 penalties. Giants giving up 448. And Hillis is going to take the ball to the 39-yard line. And the Giants will take another timeout. You're exactly right. They just want to get something up on that board.
Then it gets really interesting. Do you kick a field goal? You know, I mean, it's sort of the ultimate. I think Chip Kelly's thinking the same thing. Now, hold on a minute here. I've been running the ball. I've been running out the clock. I'm not running up the score. Look at him. And he's going, you're calling timeouts here so that maybe you can, okay, all right, we'll just put that one in the old hip pocket and remember it next time around.
So it's 3rd down and 4. The Giants are out of timeouts, mercifully. As soon as he throws and it's dropped, and it's 4th down. So do you try a 57-yard field goal here?
I wouldn't have the nerve to do that.
I don't think so.
I guess you just throw one in the end zone and hope for the best.
So a bye week for Philadelphia, then at Arizona, then they go to Houston, come home against Carolina, to Green Bay. So 3 of their next 4 games will be on the road, and then at Dallas, and that's a Thanksgiving Day game, week 13. Fourth down. Flag is thrown and taken down by Brandon Graham before he can get to the sideline.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 94, blow to the head of the quarterback, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Okay, now do you try a field goal?
Would I know? Bo Allen's going to come up and reach across the top and try and grab anything he could. Smacked him on the helmet. But you could try a field goal if you wanted to.
So they're going to mark off the 15 yards, move the ball to the 24-yard line. Nope, we're going to go a couple more plays. And
I mean, honestly, it's embarrassing enough to get beat like this.
Yep.
But then to do something sort of chintzy like that, it's even more embarrassing. Going for the touchdown, that's legit.
Well, it's going to end with another sack. by Brandon Bear. You know something else that I think W.C. Fields said?
I have no idea.
Good night, my little chickadee. I'm not talking to you. 27-0. Volkswagen post-game report coming up next after these messages.